Hey guys, welcome back to Fiction Fan. I'm your host, Daniel, and today we're stepping back into a world that shaped an entire generation of fantasy lovers, the Middle Earth. Middle Earth used to feel like sacred ground, the kind of story that echoed in your bones. But lately, it's felt more like a brand than a world. Between Amazon's billion-dollar gamble and whispers of new film projects from Warner Brothers, fans are asking one question. Can Middle-earth ever feel magical again? Because let's be honest, when the Rings of Power dropped, we all wanted to believe. The trailers looked stunning. The budget was insane. And for a moment, it felt like maybe, just maybe, that spark could return. But something was missing. So today, we're unpacking what went wrong, what could go right, and whether Tolkien's world can ever reclaim its heart. Now look, the Rings of Power wasn't a total disaster. It had its moments. Gorgeous visuals, a few standout performances, and a real sense of ambition. But somewhere between the spectacle and the soul, it lost its way. Tolkien's Middle-earth worked because it believed in itself. It was myth, not marketing. Every word, every battle, every quiet moment around a fire, it all carried moral weight. It wasn't just entertainment, it was storytelling that reached for truth. But the Rings of Power, it felt like a show built by committee, as if the studio said, "We need another hit, fantastic epic," without asking why Middle-earth mattered in the first place. Fans didn't want a billion-dollar prequel. They wanted meaning. They wanted to feel that same quiet awe that Tolkien's words carried. That sense that courage still matters, even when the world feels doomed. Here's where things get interesting and risky. Warner Brothers recently confirmed that new Lord of the Rings films are in development. And yes, Peter Jackson, Fran Walsh, and Philippa Boyens are reportedly in talks to be involved again. That's a big deal, because if those three come back, even as advisors, there's still hope. They understand Middle-earth, not just as a setting, but as a soul. The new films reportedly won't remake the trilogy, thank the Valor, but instead tell new stories from Tolkien's legendarium. We're talking the fall of Numenor, the War of Angmar, or even young Aragorn. But here's the tightrope. Nostalgia can't be the whole pitch. If they rely on recycled iconography, the Shire, the Ring, Gandalf's staff, it'll feel hollow. But if they trust Tolkien's deeper themes, mortality, humility, the light that endures in darkness, it could actually work, because that's what audiences are starving for. Not more content, more conviction. It's been over 20 years since the original trilogy ended, and still we return. I know I've gone back and watched the original trilogy countless times, as I'm sure all of you have. But the question is why? Because The Lord of the Rings isn't just a story, it's a mirror. It shows us the best and worst of ourselves. It's about ordinary people carrying impossible burdens, about mercy in the face of evil, about hope that refuses to die, even when the darkness feels endless. And that's what modern adaptations keep missing. when Frodo said, "I wish none of this had happened," and Gandalf replied, "So do all who live to see such times." That wasn't just dialogue. That was Tolkien whispering across generations, reminding us that we always have a choice. That's why it still matters. That's why we care. So maybe the real question isn't whether Middle-earth can feel magical again. Maybe it's whether Hollywood can remember why it was magical in the first place. Tolkien's world wasn't about perfect heroes or flashy battles. It was about ordinary hearts choosing light in a world gone dark. If Warner Brothers can rediscover that, if they make us feel again instead of trying to impress us, then yeah, maybe Middle-earth can still shine. Until then, I'll keep my pipeweed handy and my second breakfast waiting, because hope, as they say, is never truly lost. I want to hear it from you. Do you think the magic of Middle-earth can ever be recaptured? Or should the story finally be left to rest? Drop your thoughts below. Let's see if there's still a fellowship among us. I read every comment and reply. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for weekly fiction breakdowns, analysis, theories, and stories. Hey guys, Daniel here. I just want to say how much I've been loving creating these deep dives for all of you. I'm still finding my stride, still polishing the craft, but every week it feels a little more like home. Just like returning to the Shire after a long journey. I've moved to one video every Thursday so I can spend more time on production and also, keep up with dad life and full-time work without turning into Gollum over my editing software. So stay tuned, fiction fans. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next adventure. And let me know in the comments what fictional world you want me to explore next. Until then, keep your heart open, your imagination wild, and may your road always lead you somewhere unexpected.